Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tea Time. This is the 10th episode. I was going for our, the fall finale, the winter finale, whatever you want to call it. That's why I've been missing. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. No, but I've been away, but I haven't been doing nothing. I've been doing something. So I was, you look around and you look at the climate and you see the terrorist attacks and you see what they call terrorist attacks. I don't know what they are, to be honest with you. But you see everything that's going on. You see a lot of Black Lives Matter, a lot of all this stuff going on. And so my thing is, what do you do? What do you say? What do you do? I mean, what's next? What's the solution to the problem? And so I took some time and I was looking for this book. When my kid was in kindergarten, they did the whole kindergarten class recited the book, Brown is a Beautiful Color. So I was like, I got to find that book because we need to talk about brown is a beautiful color and how we should embrace that, just that and third. And so I looked for the book and I can't find the copy. A copy of it anywhere. Is by Jean Carey Bond. I think that's her name, something like that. But I can't find a copy of the book, and so I'm like, okay, well, that plan blew up in my face. So I go on my computer and I look at the actual graduation ceremony and the poem. So I once took a journey through the country in town to discover what things around me are brown. They talk about turkeys and donuts and the streets and you look in the mirror and you see brown, this, that, and the other. So I was like, okay, so but that doesn't answer the question. That doesn't fix the problem because the problem is deeper than color. The problem is deeper than skin tone. The problem is deeper than all of that. So I was like, okay, so what is the problem? And so I'm at a loss, so I don't record a video. And then I go back and I say, you know what? All right, I need to know, like, what is the root issue to this thing that's going on, to the shootings and the killings and the brutality and the whatever. And I realized that the root of it is the central rule: love your neighbor as yourself. That's what the problem is. We don't get that. And so to love my neighbor as myself, or for my people who aren't who don't believe in Jesus. I believe in Jesus. I love Jesus, and that's my answer. Love your neighbor as yourself, the scripture. But the rule is that when we were taught in elementary school is to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And so if we do unto others as we would have them do unto us, then we have to first know how we want them to do us. How would you want to be treated in that situation? But I'm not gonna deal with that side of it. You can take the other side, the biblical perspective, love your neighbor as yourself, and apply it the other way. So love your neighbor as yourself. I have to first realize what love is. Well, love comes from God. Love is a choice. Love is an action. So God is love. So I have to know Him to be able to love. So I have to not only have to know Him to be able to love, but I have to realize that He loves me unconditionally. Even when I mess up, even when I'm wrong, even when I got my trash and I'm not together. So to love my neighbor as myself is to first realize what love is and that He loves me. The second part of that is to love thy neighbor as thyself. So if I got to love my neighbor like I love myself, then it might stand to reason that I got to love me first. So how can I love them if I don't love me? So what you'll find is people who don't know who they are, people who aren't aware of who they are, people who don't really know what it means to love them because they have been dealt a crappy hand, or they don't, they've never experienced love the way that they're supposed to. They don't love themselves. And so it's like, okay, well, I don't love me, so why I love you? I feel like you'll kill me, so the kill will be killed. I mean, I feel like, things aren't going the way that I want them to happen. And from my experience, if it don't go the way I want it to go, then I need to make something happen, because our mentality is do something, change something, make something happen, when you can get a lot more done if you get a group of people together to work together cohesively than you could if you're trying to be the one-man army, one against a million. And so I say all that to say, okay, so before I can love anybody else or care for anybody else and treat others the way that I want to be treated, I have to love me. I have to know me. And how do I know me? I need some alone time. If you don't want to be by yourself, trust me, nobody else wants to be around you either, because it's not a coincidence, and it's not just by accident, or it's not just, a circumstance that you just don't want to be around yourself. You don't want to be alone. You always got to have somebody around. You got to be in a crowd. You got to be out. You got to be partying. You got to be with people. That's not something light. That means that you don't know you. You don't like you. You don't want to be alone with you, because when you get alone with you, you have to deal with the stuff that comes along with you. So, second part of the equation, after you know God, after you love God, after you realize what love is, it's an action, it's a choice, and it comes from God. After you realize that, then you have to love you. You have to look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm messed up, I'm flawed, I'm messed up, but I still love me. I'm worth this. I'm not worth less. I'm worthy. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of trust. I'm worthy of respect. I'm worthy of whatever. Because at the end of the day, if you don't love you, you don't know how to respond when people do love you, when people do reach out for you, when people try to, give you a hand up. Because if you don't know you and you don't love you, and you're in a situation where you work in an environment where you're the minority, society teaches you and life teaches you that you're the token. Well, that's not true. You could just be good at what you do. That's what I choose to believe. I choose to believe that I'm great at what I do, even if I'm the minority, even if I'm the only one there who looks like I look. I feel like I'm there because not because they need a token, but they need my skills, because I'm that good, because I know the value that I hold. I know how important that I am. So after I love me and I know me and I love me, then I can project that same love, the love of Christ, the love that he gives to me, the love that I feel every day, the love that I feel for myself, because I got to love me before I can love anybody else. Once I get that, then I can get the love to the next man. I can love my neighbor as myself. I can love them. I can give them the respect and the appreciation and the kudos and not beating them down and talking behind their back, but actually lifting them up and rejoicing when they rejoice. I can do that when I love me and when I love him. So it's here, then there. And so this, we got to realize that solves a bigger problem when you handle it in love, when you come at it in love, when you know who you are, when you know who he is, and that way you can project that same love to be a light. And for those who don't believe in Jesus, to do unto others as you would have them do unto you, it's the same principle. You got to know how you would want to be treated. You got to know your self-worth. You have to know your self-value so that you can project to somebody else how you would want to happen. Because if you get down in a circumstance or a situation where you would want grace or want mercy or want love or want somebody to help you, then in that situation, when the shoe is on the other foot, you should do the same thing. So it's been an awesome episode of Tea Time. I hope you enjoy. I'm back off of my winter finale. And so please like, comment, share. Thanks again. Tea Time. I'm out.